So hello my friends, welcome back. So yesterday, the United Opposition were in a church somewhere in Muranga. And it's so annoying that Okengo Matiang'i thinks that we Kenyans are a bunch of cretins. Listen to what the master of disobeying court orders had to say. And Lord have mercy.
Saa hii sio eti kwamba lazima Kalonzo awe president, au lazima Matiang'i awe president, au lazima Gachagua awe president, ama Martha lazima awe president. Saa hii lazima tusaidie nchi yetu jamani.
First of all, to be lectured by Matiang'i on the poor state of the nation is in itself beyond the pale. And then followed the gaslighting, him telling us how much he's not interested in being president. So fascinating. He stated that it's not a must any of them become president, yet he's joking for the same position on a Jubilee ticket. Matter of fact, every single one of them in different respects are party leaders in their respective political parties. But the highlight for me was the statement that, or the declaration that, sometimes saving the nation is a noble cause second to none. Which begs the question, and remember, history foreshadows the future. Even if the country was in such a dire state as to require restoration, is Matiang'i the appropriate intermediary to actualize that dream? Let me give you a prelude to the man so that you be the judge. At the university as a lecturer, Matiang'i's class had a transition rate of below 10%. Babu Owino, as student president, was his contemporary, can attest to this fact. In fact, he was so incompetent he was demoted. And then Uhuru pulled him from obscurity and empowered him, made him CS education. Again, transition rates to secondary and universities dropped. And what boggles the mind is the fact that most of us assumed, and wrongly so, that the mass failings qualified him as competent. A logic that appends reality. The highlight of his career was at the Interior Ministry. High-profile abductions and deaths proliferated. Matiang'i disappeared politicians scheduled to appear before courts. He kidnapped Babu and Miguna, took them in rounds around the nation, eventually appearing them before the wrong court circuit. All this he did as a minister. Imagine for a second that he's president. The same courts issued orders deterring Matiang'i from taking certain courses of actions, orders that he disregarded summarily with a bald face. Matiang'i was barred by the courts from deporting Miguna, but he went ahead and did the same. He was compelled by the courts to appear Babu before court in Nairobi, but he did in Kiambu, albeit late. With Matiang'i as president for a second, this country would be dystopian, totally lawless. Our beautiful and little baby Pendo, while basking in her father's balcony in her mama's house, so innocent, committed no infractions, but shot in the head in cold blood, died like a dog in the streets. Her crime, Raila's ballots were manipulated by Matiang'i's bosses, and it happened demonstrations were in Pendo's neighborhood. The point is, Matiang'i developed a particular overreach, a hatred, a loath towards Kenyans in general, and the judiciary in particular. In summary, have you ever heard of the argument made by some Kenyans with regard to Matiang'i specifically that Kenya needs a benevolent dictator? And come to think of it, where did it come from? And by the way, why would we Kenyans need Matiang'i specifically, or much less any politician, as a dictator? This canard was first introduced by Uhuru Kenyatta and then perpetuated by his mockingbirds in the media. Uhuru badly wanted to be a dictator, but he lacked the spine of steel to go through with it. And now he wants to impose Matiang'i on Kenyans. My friends, we don't need a dictator in any way, shape or form. And that is what Matiang'i embodies, a dictator. I wish Malala could write a play that foreshadows Matiang'i's presidency. That would be interesting, but he won't. Why do you think that is? Because this play, titled Who Killed Amolo, is meant to play to Luo emotions. Luos are the audience, don't be mistaken. It is meant to disgruntle them with the president, so that they dump the president and caucus with the opposition. And of course, some will seize the opportunity to switch back to government. But luckily, we know the game now. So here's the deal. Malala is a Gachagua mockingbird. And so any script by Malala is a play by Gachagua. Gachagua, a man who lied before he could talk, is all of a sudden so concerned with Raila's well-being, albeit in death, to the point he's looking to stir up emotions by peddling a conspiracy theory that Raila didn't die a natural death. First it was that the president called Luos Wapumbavu, but he was welcomed like a star recently. Now, it's that the president assassinated Raila. We're not falling for this pile of horse shit. Sorry. See, we know the game now. We've learned so well to put our emotions in check for a desired outcome. We'll not be baited to poor choices politically. Opondo Kaluma, in a recent statement, encapsulated our position succinctly.
Baba said it in that duel. In fact, it took a long time. Baba even told us the communities we can associate with politically, the people we can associate with. And Baba was very explicit. Nothing with Rigathi Gachagua.
The highlight for me is that we know our enemy. So fearsome and lethal. Gachagua is a no. Such a no that Kalonzo is our friend. But so long as Gachagua is lurking in the shadows, then so be it. Matter of fact, if President Ruto, God forbid, were to admit Gachagua back to be part of polite society, then we'd exit the room. Full stop and end of issue. Now, there was a confession by Edo Odinga that she was not privy to any will in which Raila wished to be buried within 72 hours. The opposition ran with it. They claimed that it gave credence to their allegations to assassination. My friends, look, Raila is dead and buried. Whether Mama Ida was privy to that fact or not is an issue. Plus, she's elderly. She can start showing signs of dementia. Plus, we see opposition fingerprints all over this issue, so we're not falling for it. What continually infuriates me are the endemic accusations and conspiracy theories leveled against our people, a standard that is impossible to meet. When Raila was at the ballot, he was demonized. Once he lost elections and joined government, he was labeled a betrayer, a tumbocrat. Once some Luos joined cabinet to help the president, we were told that the president is the devil incarnate and we should join in protests, conveniently forgetting that in the same cabinet or in the same regime, Kikuyus were in disproportionately higher numbers. But what broke my heart even more is that recently the president nominated Mama Ida to be ambassador to the UNEP. She was castigated, including by her own people. She was told that, for some reason, her accepting that offer would kill Winnie and ODM's political futures, which makes you wonder, was Mama Ida ever Winnie's political advisor or ODM's chairperson? These double standards always consistently apply singularly to Luos. So in conclusion, the united opposition can produce as many plays as possible about who killed Amolo, but facts are stubborn. They must look for an agenda. Amolo can't be the agenda. They shout that Ruto must go and then they look for an agenda after the fact. What will they sell Kenyans? Gachagua is there through emotions because he felt betrayed by Ruto. Kalonzo is there because he feels it's his turn to be president. While Matiang'i is there because Uhuru told him so. The rest are there by default. It's all laughable. Peace.